Ever wonder what makes those successful people tick? You know, the ones who seem to just crush it day after day. Well, today we're doing a deep dive into the habits that fuel their success.
Oh, yeah. Those habits are fascinating, aren't they?
Totally. And for this deep dive, we're taking a look at a Real Life English podcast episode all about the 10 habits of successful people.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah. So we're going to unpack each habit and, pepper in some cool examples of how, like, famous entrepreneurs and leaders actually put these things into practice.
Sounds good to me. Let's do it.
Awesome. So first up, habit number 1 is waking up early.
The early bird gets the worm, right?
Well, that's what they say. The source really highlights how important it is to make the most of those quiet hours before the day's craziness kicks in.
Oh, yeah. It's like that time when you can really focus and be productive,
Yeah.
before all the distractions start rolling in.
Right. Like Elon Musk apparently uses those early hours for hardcore engineering work.
Wow, hardcore. So that's how he comes up with all those Tesla innovations, I guess.
Seems like it. And get this. Tim Cook starts his day at 3:45 a.m.
Whoa, 3:45. That's early.
That is seriously early. He uses that time to catch up on emails from other time zones and even squeeze in a workout.
Wow, he's got it all figured out.
Right. But hey, you don't have to become a total morning person overnight. The key takeaway here is that, finding even just 30 minutes of focused time in the morning can make a big difference.
I think that's a great point. Starting small and building up from there.
Exactly. And create a morning routine that actually works for you. Like whatever gets you energized and ready to tackle the day.
Exactly, whether it's meditation, journaling, a quick workout, or even just enjoying a cup of coffee in peace.
Okay, so we've got the early bird thing down. Now let's talk about where we're flying to. You know what I mean?
Setting a course.
Yeah. Habit number 2 is all about setting clear goals.
Love it. Goals are everything.
They really are. And this source emphasizes the importance of moving beyond those vague dreams, the I want to be successful kind of stuff, and getting specific.
Yes. Smart goals.
You got SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
It's a classic framework for a reason, right? It really helps you clarify what you want to achieve.
Totally. So instead of saying, I want to be more successful, a SMART goal would be something like, I'm going to launch my online course by the end of next quarter, and I'll dedicate 2 hours each day to creating content and marketing it.
Now that's a goal.
Right. It's way more actionable.
Absolutely. And it gives you a clear roadmap to follow.
And the source suggests some good tips for making those SMART goals a reality.
Right.
Write them down. Break them into smaller daily tasks, and review your top priorities each morning.
It's all about staying focused and on track, right?
For sure. Okay, so we're up early. We've got our goals set. Now what?
Time to hit the books.
So habit number 3 is all about continuous learning.
Always be growing, right?
Exactly. And it seems like successful people never stop learning. The source mentions Bill Gates, who reads like 50 books a year.
50 a year. Wow.
Yeah, almost a book a week. And Warren Buffett spends hours each day reading and studying.
It's amazing how they make time for that.
I know, right? They see it as an investment, I guess. A way to stay ahead of the curve and keep growing.
It's like they say, the more you learn, the more you earn.
That's a good one. And it's not just about books either, right? Learning can come from anywhere these days.
Absolutely. Podcasts, online courses, insightful conversations, you name it.
Totally. The key is to just stay curious and keep seeking out new knowledge and skills.
It's about being a lifelong learner.
Love it. Now, all this learning and goal setting is great, but we need energy to actually make it happen, right?
Oh, yeah. We got to fuel the machine.
That brings us to habit number 4. Exercising regularly.
Gotta stay active.
The source emphasizes that even moderate exercise can make a huge difference in our mental sharpness, focus, and even stress levels.
No doubt about it. Exercise is like a magic potion for the brain.
Right. You don't have to be a marathon runner or anything. You just got to find ways to incorporate movement into your day.
Exactly. Like taking a walk during lunch or opting for the stairs instead of the elevator.
Simple things can make a big difference. And hey, if Richard Branson swears by daily exercise and credits it for his energy and success, maybe we should listen up.
That's a good point. He's a pretty successful guy.
For sure. So it's not just about physical health. Exercise helps us be more productive and creative too.
It's a win-win.
I'm sold. Okay, so we're energized, focused.
Yeah.
We've got our goals. But sometimes, even with all that, it's still hard to actually get things done.
Oh, I hear you. Procrastination is real.
So real. And that's where habit number 5 comes in, practicing self-discipline.
Ah, yes. The art of getting things done even when you don't feel like it.
Exactly. It's about doing what needs to be done even when motivation dips or distractions come knocking.
Like those times when you'd rather be scrolling through social media than tackling your to-do list.
You know me too well. So how do we develop that superhuman self-discipline?
Well, the source mentions some interesting techniques like the 5-second rule.
Is that
It's about interrupting that procrastination cycle by counting down from 5 and then just taking action before your brain has a chance to talk you out of it.
I like that. Stop thinking and just do it.
Exactly. And another technique is to take on small daily challenges that build your willpower, like resisting that extra cookie or sticking to your work schedule without getting sidetracked.
Small steps lead to big changes, right?
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got energy focus, self-discipline, but I have a feeling success isn't just a solo mission.
You're reading my mind. Habit number 6 is all about networking and building relationships.
Ah, yes, the power of connection.
Exactly. We all know that networking can be a bit awkward sometimes.
Especially if it feels forced or inauthentic.
Right, but this source emphasizes that it's not about that at all. It's about building genuine connections with supportive and inspiring individuals.
People who can challenge you, lift you up, and offer different perspectives.
Exactly. It's about creating a network of people who can help you grow both personally and professionally.
And even if you're not a natural extrovert, you can still build those connections.
Absolutely. Start small. Attend industry events. Join online communities, or even just reach out to someone you admire through email.
It's about putting yourself out there and making an effort.
Yeah, I think the key here is to focus on providing value.
Oh, yeah. Instead of approaching networking with a what can I get mindset, it's more about how can I contribute.
Exactly. It's about building relationships based on mutual respect and support.
Authenticity is key. When you're genuine, people can feel it.
Agreed. Okay, so we're building relationships, staying curious, taking action. But how do we fit all this into our already busy lives?
Time management is key, my friend.
Which brings us to habit number 7, managing time effectively.
We all wish we had more hours in the day, right?
Seriously. But this source stresses that successful people are masters of their time.
They know how to prioritize and minimize those time-wasting activities.
So true.
Yeah.
But with so many demands on our time, how do we know what to focus on?
Well, the source introduces a helpful concept called the Pareto principle, or the 80-20 rule.
Okay, I've heard of that. What's the gist?
It suggests that 80% of our results come from just 20% of our efforts.
Interesting. So we should focus on those high-impact activities, the ones that really move the needle.
Exactly. It's about working smarter, not just harder.
I like that.
Yeah.
Any practical tips for actually doing that?
The source suggests some cool strategies like time blocking, where you allocate specific blocks of time for different tasks throughout your day.
So it's like creating a schedule for your work.
Exactly. It helps you stay organized and make sure you're dedicating enough time to those important tasks.
Makes sense. And what about the Pomodoro technique? I've heard that one thrown around.
Yes. That's a great one, too. It involves working in focused 25-minute intervals, followed by short breaks.
So it's like a sprint and recover approach to work.
Exactly. It can be super effective for maintaining focus and preventing burnout.
I'm gonna have to try that one. Okay, so we're managing our time, setting goals, taking action. But amidst all this striving, don't we risk losing sight of the simple joys in life?
That's a great point. And that's where habit number 8 comes in, practicing gratitude.
Gratitude? It sounds a bit fluffy, but I'm open to it.
Don't underestimate its power. Shifting our focus from what we lack to what we already have can have a profound impact on our happiness, motivation, and even resilience.
It's easy to get caught up in that always wanting more mentality, right?
Oh, yeah. But taking a moment to appreciate what we have can be a real game changer.
So how do we actually do that? How do we incorporate gratitude into our daily lives?
A simple but powerful practice is keeping a gratitude journal.
I've heard of those.
Yeah.
What do you do exactly?
Just take a few minutes each day to jot down 3 things you're grateful for, no matter how small they seem.
Like a good cup of coffee or a sunny day?
Exactly. It could be anything that brings you joy or appreciation.
It's about training our brains to notice and savor those positive moments.
And here's the cool part. Research has shown that practicing gratitude can actually rewire our brains towards positivity.
So it's not just about feeling good in the moment. It's about creating lasting, positive changes.
Exactly. Gratitude is a powerful tool. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. But all this talk about habits and routines, does it leave any room for spontaneity and adventure?
Good question. I like a little adventure myself.
That's where habit number 9 comes in. taking calculated risks.
Calculated risks, so not just jumping off a cliff without a parachute.
Not exactly. Successful people understand that growth and progress often require stepping outside their comfort zones and embracing uncertainty.
So it's about pushing ourselves beyond those self-imposed limitations.
Exactly. It could be anything from pursuing a career change to starting a side hustle to even just trying a new hobby.
It's about expanding our comfort zones and opening ourselves up to new possibilities.
And even if a risk doesn't lead to the desired outcome, the experience itself is valuable.
You learn and grow from every experience, right?
Absolutely. Okay, so we've covered 9 habits. We're almost there. What's the final piece of the puzzle?
It's the glue that holds it all together.
Habit number 10, staying consistent.
Ah, yes. Consistency is key. They say success is a marathon, not a sprint, right?
Exactly. It's about showing up day after day, even when you don't feel like it, and putting in the work, even when progress is slow.
It's about resisting the temptation to give up when things get tough.
The source compares it to compound interest. Small, consistent efforts accumulate over time, leading to massive results in the long run.
I like that analogy. It's about those small daily actions adding up to something big over time.
Exactly. Consistency is what transforms those small steps into giant leaps.
So it's not about being perfect or going all out all the time. It's about creating sustainable habits that support our goals.
And finding ways to stay motivated and accountable.
So we've laid the groundwork exploring these 10 habits that fuel success, but we're just getting started.
Absolutely. Stay tuned, because in the next part of our deep dive, we'll go beyond the what and explore the how.
We'll uncover practical tips and techniques for actually applying these habits to your own unique journey.
Get ready to level up your routine and unlock your full potential.
I'm excited for that. But for now, let's take a break and we'll be right back. All right, we're back and ready to dive deeper into these 10 habits of successful people.
Yeah, let's get practical.
Exactly. So we talked about waking up early, but let's be real. Waking up at 3:45 a.m., like Tim Cook isn't for everyone.
No kidding? So how do we make this habit work for us normal folks?
Right. Like, what if hitting the snooze button a few times is more our style?
Well, the key is to find what works for you. Start small. Maybe set your alarm 15 minutes earlier than usual for a week and then gradually increase it from there.
Gradual change.
Yeah?
That sounds manageable.
Exactly. It's about making small, sustainable changes.
And what about creating a morning routine that actually makes you want to get out of bed? Any suggestions?
Well, think about activities that energize and inspire you. Maybe a quick workout, some yoga, journaling, meditation, or even just enjoying a cup of coffee in peace.
So it's about finding what fuels our individual energy and focus.
Absolutely. Okay, let's move on to setting clear goals. We talked about SMART goals, but what happens when those goals start to feel overwhelming?
Yeah, or when life throws a curveball. How do we stay on track?
Breaking down those goals into smaller, more manageable steps is key. Remember, even the most ambitious goals are achieved one step at a time.
One step at a time. I like that.
Instead of focusing on the entire mountain, just concentrate on the next step in front of you.
Makes sense. So it's about breaking down those big goals into smaller, actionable steps.
Exactly. You can create a visual roadmap or a checklist to track your progress and celebrate those small wins along the way.
Celebrating those small wins is so important. It keeps the motivation going.
Yeah.
Now, what about continuous learning? With so much information out there, how do we even choose what to focus on?
It can definitely feel overwhelming, right?
Totally.
Well, the key is to align your learning with your goals and interests. Ask yourself, what skills or knowledge will help me advance in my career or personal life?
So instead of trying to learn everything, we focus on what's most relevant to us.
Exactly. And remember, learning isn't limited to just books and courses. Explore podcasts, documentaries, online communities, conversations with experts. Make it fun and engaging.
Speaking of engaging, let's move on to exercising regularly. I'll admit hitting the gym isn't always my favorite thing.
Me neither. But there are tons of other ways to get moving.
Like what?
Try dancing, hiking, swimming, biking, or playing a sport you enjoy. Find activities that you genuinely enjoy and that fit into your lifestyle.
It's about finding that joy in movement.
Exactly. Now let's talk about self-discipline. We all struggle with it sometimes, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially when motivation dips or distractions are calling.
So how do we strengthen that willpower muscle?
Yeah, any tips?
Well, it's about understanding your triggers and creating systems to support your self-discipline. Identify those situations where you tend to lose focus or give in to distractions.
Like social media, for example.
Exactly. And then develop strategies to minimize their impact.
So maybe schedule specific times for social media or use one of those apps that block distracting websites.
Exactly. It's about proactively designing your environment to support your goals.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift gears to networking and building relationships. We talked about genuine connections, but how do we actually build those?
Approach networking with a mindset of giving, not just taking permity. Focus on building authentic connections, sharing your knowledge and expertise, and offering support to others.
So instead of what can I get from this person, it's more about how can I contribute to this relationship?
Exactly. Be patient, nurture those connections, and watch those relationships flourish.
I like that. Now let's tackle managing time effectively. How do we prioritize when everything feels important?
The Eisenhower matrix can be really helpful here.
What's that?
It's a tool that helps you categorize tasks based on urgency and importance.
So we can separate the must-do nows from the important but can't waits.
Exactly. It helps you focus on the most crucial tasks first.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Now, speaking of focus, how do we cultivate gratitude even when we're facing challenges?
Reframing is key here. Instead of dwelling on what's wrong, challenge yourself to find the silver lining, even in difficult situations.
So find the lesson or the opportunity for growth in every experience.
Exactly. It helps you maintain a positive outlook and build resilience.
Okay, now let's talk about taking calculated risks. How do we make decisions when the outcome is uncertain?
It's about gathering information, weighing potential outcomes, and trusting your intuition.
So do your research, seek advice, consider the potential consequences.
Exactly. Make informed decisions, not impulsive ones.
And remember, even if a risk doesn't lead to the desired outcome, you still learn and grow from the experience.
Absolutely. Okay, finally, let's revisit staying consistent. How do we stay motivated and avoid burnout when pursuing long-term goals?
It's easy to get discouraged when results don't appear overnight.
The key is to set realistic expectations, prioritize self-care, and celebrate those milestones along the way.
So it's like creating a roadmap for success with checkpoints to celebrate our wins and re-energize.
Exactly. And remember, consistency doesn't mean perfection. It's okay to have off days. The key is to keep moving forward, even if it's just one small step at a time.
So we've explored these practical applications. Now I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Which of these nuances resonated most with you?
What specific actions are you inspired to take based on what we've discussed?
Remember, this deep dive is all about transforming knowledge into action. All right, we're back for the final part of our deep dive into those 10 habits of successful people.
Time to bring it all together.
Yeah, we've talked about each habit individually, but how do they all work together?
Well, they kind of create this synergy,
Yeah.
you know? Like they amplify each other's impact.
Ooh, synergy. I like that. Give me an example.
Okay, so think about waking up early and setting clear goals. When you start your day with intention, knowing what you want to achieve, those early hours become super valuable.
It's like setting yourself up for success right from the start.
Exactly. You're maximizing those quiet, productive hours.
I can see that. And what about continuous learning and taking calculated risks? How do those two connect?
Well, the more you learn, the more confident you become in taking those leaps.
Makes sense. Knowledge is power, as they say.
It's like a cycle. Learning fuels risk-taking, and risk-taking leads to more learning.
Oh yeah, it's all connected. And of course, we can't forget about staying consistent.
The glue that holds it all together, right?
Totally. Without consistency, those other habits wouldn't have much impact.
It's those small daily actions that add up to big results over time.
So it's not just about adopting these habits in isolation. It's about creating a lifestyle, a way of being.
Yeah, a way of being that prioritizes growth, intentionality, continuous improvement.
I like that. And as we integrate these habits into our lives, they can have a positive impact on other areas too, right?
Absolutely. It's like a ripple effect.
For example, someone who starts exercising regularly might find that they have more energy and focus at work.
Exactly. And someone who practices gratitude might attract more positive experiences and relationships.
It's amazing how these habits can create this upward spiral, you know?
A virtuous cycle of success and fulfillment.
So it seems like there's no one-size-fits-all approach.
That's the beauty of personal growth. It's a journey of exploration and discovery.
So these 10 habits are more like a framework, a set of guiding principles.
Exactly. Find what works for you. Experiment. Adapt. Personalize.
And remember, success isn't a destination. It's a direction.
It's about constantly striving to be your best self.
And who knows, maybe by incorporating some of these habits into our own lives, we'll inspire others to do the same.
That's the power of leading by example.
Well, that's a wrap on our deep dive into 10 habits of successful people.
Hope you enjoyed it.
We sure did. And we hope you learned something new and are feeling inspired to level up your own routine.
Keep learning, keep growing, and stay curious.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, success is a journey, not a destination.